Texas Performance Standards Project, ENIGMAS, Chloe Tran, 4th grade, Mrs. Dresden. Enigmas. An enigma is a naturally occurring unsolved mystery. First described by Greek philosopher Plato, Atlantis and its downfall is one of popular science's most enduring controversies. The original location of the vanished civilization is still a mystery. Did this advanced civilization really exist, or was it a parable to show how the gods punish mortals? Enigma's proposal. The enigma I chose to study is Atlantis. 1. This is what I currently know about the enigma. Plato wrote about Atlantis. Atlantis sank into the ocean. 2. Here are some dilemmas or controversies involved in this enigma. No one can find it. There are many different theories about what happened to Atlantis. Some think Atlantis is fictional. 3. Understanding of the enigma has changed over time in the following ways. Plato wrote about Atlantis. People wanted to search for Atlantis. People started to have many different theories about where Atlantis is. Today, there is still no evidence that Atlantis existed. 4. Some unanswered questions about my enigma include, where is Atlantis? How did Atlantis sink into the ocean? 5. I hope to learn where Plato traveled to discover Atlantis, if Atlantis is real, where the idea came from. 6. Different sciences view the enigma in different ways. Some examples are historian Ammianus Marcellinus believes the place had been flooded. Scientists and historians believe that an earthquake and subsequent tsunamis were partially responsible for destroying the city. Guiding questions. 1. How would you describe the enigma? Atlantis is a lost city first mentioned by Greek philosopher Plato. He said it was located in the Atlantic just beyond the Pillars of Hercules. 2. How long have people known about it? People have known about Atlantis since Plato told the story of it in 360 BC. 3. How do scientists from different fields explain the enigma? Atlantis didn't exist at all. Plato invented it. Most scientists and historians throughout history have concluded that Plato intended the story to be a cautionary tale of the gods punishing human hubris. Atlantis is the story of the Minoan civilization which flourished in the Greek islands circa 2500 to 1800 BC. The story of Atlantis was a mythical retelling of the Black Sea flood. Atlantis was Antarctica. Hypothesis. My hypothesis is Atlantis was destroyed by earthquakes, tsunamis, and floods, then deteriorated into the ocean floor. I will test my hypothesis by simulating a tsunami in a bottle. So the first picture shows an ocean shore in normal conditions, and the second picture shows an underwater earthquake. An underwater earthquake happens when the Earth's tectonic plates shift. When that happens, it causes a lot of energy to rise, which causes a big wave because and then while the energy is rising and the water is too, the gravity is pushing the water, trying to push the water down, which causes it to spread out horizontally. And then it shoots forward, which is the tsunami wave. The fourth picture is the aftermath, which is just the conclusion or what happened after the tsunami wave hit the shore. Experiment. Problem. What will happen to the shoreline when a tsunami hits it? Hypothesis. My hypothesis is that the shoreline will deteriorate into the water with each wave of the tsunami. Materials. 1 clean, empty 16.9 ounce water bottle. half a cup of small rocks or pebbles, half a cup of water. Procedure 1. Pour the small rocks into the bottle. 2. Pour the water into the bottle. 3. Slowly tilt the bottle to its side. Be careful not to let too much rocks fall. 4. Lift the neck of the bottle 1 to 2 inches and release in a swift motion. 5. Observe and record what happens to the rocks/shoreline after each trial. 6. Repeat step 4 and 5 for trials 2 to 5. Experiment. Observations. Trial 1. The shoreline did not deteriorate that much. Rocks are still visible above the level of the water. Trial 2. The shoreline deteriorated just a little bit. Rocks were still visible, but not as much. Trial 3. About half of the shoreline has deteriorated. Half of the rocks were visible. Trial 4. Most of the shoreline deteriorated. Only some rocks were still visible. Trial 5. About all of the shoreline has deteriorated. No rocks were visible above the level of the water. Hypothesis revision. What did you learn from your experiment that helps you better understand the enigma? I learned how the energy from an earthquake and tsunamis can possibly cause the destruction and disappearance of a city. What other experiments could be conducted that might help explain the mystery? An earthquake simulation could also be conducted to show the energy it produces to cause a tsunami. Conclusion. What do you still not understand about the enigma? I still don't understand how Plato knew so much information about Atlantis, even though he wrote that the Atlanteans existed 9,000 years before his own time. What do scientists still not understand about the enigma? Scientists still don't know the exact location of Atlantis, and no remnants of the city have been found. In what ways is the information incomplete or lacking an explanation? If the island is still fictional, what makes it so popular? Why are people still trying to search for it? Product. Name of game. Journey to finding out about Atlantis. Number of players. 4. Rolls. Each player takes turn rolling the die. The number the die lands on is the number of spaces the player needs to move. On each space, there is an eye in the top right corner. Click on it to learn facts about Atlantis, to get a theory card, or to advance spaces back or forward. The theory cards are located under the title. The first player to get to the finish line wins. Die. I got a 6. I move a ship 6 spaces. And I click on the eye. Plato says that Atlantis sank from earthquakes and floods and sank into a muddy sea. So I exit out, and then the next player rolls the die, and then reads the fact, and that process repeats over and over again until the person that goes to the finish line wins. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed my presentation and learned something new. Thank you for listening.